In 2026, a single change to Social Security could permanently raise monthly benefits for millions of retirees and people with disabilities. While headlines focus on short-term stimulus checks, this overlooked proposal would increase payments every month, strengthen future cost of living adjustments, and protect benefits for life. If passed, it would deliver more real income than any Social Security increase in the last decade. This is the one policy seniors need to understand because its impact would be felt long after 2026. Seniors today face a financial reality that is becoming more and more difficult to manage. Millions of older Americans live on fixed incomes, and for them, Social Security is not just a source of monthly money, it is a lifeline. It helps pay for basic needs like housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and everyday expenses that cannot be avoided. Without it, many seniors would struggle to survive on their own. However, the reality is that the cost of living continues to rise faster than the increases applied to Social Security benefits. While benefits may go up a little each year, the actual value of the money seniors receive often shrinks because prices for essential goods and services rise more quickly than their monthly payments. This means that older adults see the real worth of their income slowly disappear as costs increase for things like prescription medications, electricity, heating, healthcare services, and groceries. A $2,000 one-time stimulus check or a few months of temporary extra payments may offer some relief, but these short-term measures are not enough to solve the larger, long-term financial problems that seniors face. These temporary payments act more like a Band-Aid than a real solution. They do not increase the base amount of Social Security benefits permanently, so the money does not grow or accumulate over time. Once the temporary payments end, seniors are left in the same financial situation they were in before, still struggling to pay for the necessities of life. This makes it hard for older adults to plan their finances. They often have to make difficult choices between important expenses, like deciding whether to pay for medication or utilities first. These financial pressures are even more severe for disabled Americans who rely on Social Security disability insurance as their main or only source of income. Any sudden rise in costs can create serious hardship, as they often do not have extra money saved up to cover emergencies. What seniors truly need is a permanent adjustment to Social Security benefits that keeps up with the real cost of living. An ongoing, meaningful increase in benefits would help restore the purchasing power of their income, making it easier to plan for the future and cover the costs of everyday life. Lawmakers who focus only on short-term fixes do not fully understand the role of Social Security, which is meant to provide support for people throughout retirement or during periods of disability. Permanent benefit increases, especially those that are linked to accurate measures of inflation reflecting the costs that seniors actually face, would give older Americans the stability and security they need. These improvements would help seniors pay for essentials, maintain independence, and reduce the risk of falling into poverty. Without such structural reform, temporary measures may offer some relief, but they leave the underlying financial challenges unsolved. Over the past 10 years, financial pressure on Social Security beneficiaries has grown steadily. Inflation has consistently increased at a faster rate than the cost of living adjustments, or COLAs, that are applied to Social Security benefits. COLAs are meant to ensure that monthly payments keep up with rising costs, but in reality, these annual increases have been too small to match the true cost of essential goods and services. Items like groceries, utilities, transportation, and prescription medications have become more expensive at rates that exceed the modest COLA increases. This steady gap means that the real value of Social Security benefits slowly erodes over time, leaving seniors with less purchasing power than they had in previous years. Many seniors are forced to make difficult choices about how to spend their money because the extra income from COLAs often does not cover the rising costs of living. Adding to these pressures, increases in Medicare premiums take a significant portion of any benefit increase that seniors receive. For many, a large part of the small COLA adjustment goes directly toward higher healthcare costs, leaving very little extra money for food, rent, utilities, or other essential expenses. This situation is especially challenging for low and middle-income seniors who rely on Social Security as their primary source of income. The limited financial flexibility makes it difficult to cover unexpected expenses, save for emergencies, or enjoy even a modest quality of life. Temporary boosts to Social Security, such as one-time stimulus checks or short-term monthly payments, provide only short-lived relief. These payments do not permanently increase the base level of Social Security benefits. So once the extra support ends, seniors are back in the same difficult situation they faced before. The uncertainty surrounding these temporary payments also makes it hard for older adults to plan for the future. They cannot rely on this extra money to pay recurring bills such as rent, mortgage, electricity, water, healthcare, food, or medical costs. Because of this, seniors often face financial stress and must make difficult decisions about which expenses to prioritize each month. The combination of small COLAs, rising Medicare premiums, and temporary payments that come and go exposes a serious weakness in the Social Security system. Without a permanent adjustment that more accurately reflects the real-world costs that seniors face, older Americans and disabled beneficiaries continue to struggle financially. Policymakers need to address both the erosion of purchasing power and the outsized impact of healthcare costs to ensure that Social Security fulfills its promise, providing a stable, reliable income that allows seniors to live with dignity, independence, and security. Finding a lasting solution to the financial challenges faced by seniors and disabled Americans requires more than temporary payments or small COLAs. Raising the base Social Security benefits on a permanent basis is essential. Such an increase would ensure that recipients receive higher monthly payments for the entirety of their retirement or period of disability, rather than just for a few months. Permanent benefit increases help restore purchasing power that has been lost to inflation, allowing seniors to plan for the future with confidence. This approach benefits current recipients immediately, giving them more money to cover their day-to-day needs, while also assuring future beneficiaries that their earned Social Security benefits will be enough to maintain a basic standard of living. Without these long-term adjustments, seniors continue to face financial insecurity, and short-term fixes will continue to provide only fleeting relief. The Social Security Expansion Act provides a framework for addressing these critical issues. The Act focuses on three important areas: benefit adequacy, protection against inflation, and long-term program solvency. Ensuring benefit adequacy means making sure that seniors and disabled Americans have enough money to cover essential living expenses, including housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and other daily necessities. Inflation protection guarantees that the value of Social Security payments does not shrink over time, allowing recipients to maintain a stable standard of living as prices increase. Strengthening long-term solvency ensures that the Social Security program remains financially sound for future generations. By protecting the trust fund and ensuring that benefits can be paid decades from now, the system can continue to provide reliable support to those who depend on it. Together, these measures provide both immediate relief and long-term security, addressing the financial challenges that have plagued seniors and disabled Americans for years. They provide a realistic path forward, recognizing that Social Security is not simply a temporary support, but a critical part of life for millions of older and disabled Americans. Seniors today face a financial reality that is increasingly challenging. For millions of Americans living on fixed incomes, Social Security is not just a source of monthly income, but a vital lifeline, supporting housing, healthcare, food, and daily necessities. Yet, inflation continues to outpace the cost of living adjustments applied to Social Security benefits. While benefits may technically increase each year, the actual purchasing power of these payments steadily declines. Seniors are seeing the value of their income eroded by rising costs in essential areas such as prescription medications, energy, healthcare services, and groceries. In practical terms, a $2,000 one-time stimulus check or a limited series of temporary monthly payments may provide brief relief, but these measures fail to address the long-term challenges that older adults face. Temporary payments are reactive rather than proactive solutions. They do not change the base amount of Social Security benefits and therefore do not compound over time. Once the payment period ends, beneficiaries are left in the same financial position they occupied before. Moreover, the uncertainty associated with short-term measures makes it difficult for seniors to plan their finances, forcing difficult trade-offs between essential expenses. This challenge is particularly acute for disabled Americans who rely on Social Security disability insurance as their primary or sole source of income, leaving them vulnerable to sudden cost increases without adequate buffers. What seniors need is a permanent adjustment to their Social Security benefits that accurately reflects the cost of living. A meaningful, ongoing increase would restore purchasing power and provide stability for retirees planning their futures. Policymakers who focus solely on short-term fixes fail to recognize that Social Security is intended as a lifelong guarantee, supporting beneficiaries throughout retirement or periods of disability. Permanent benefit increases, indexed to more accurate measures of inflation reflecting seniors' actual costs, would ensure older Americans can meet basic needs, maintain independence, and protect against poverty. Without such structural reform, temporary measures provide fleeting relief while leaving the underlying affordability crisis unresolved. Over the past decade, financial pressures on Social Security beneficiaries have intensified as inflation has consistently outpaced cost of living adjustments. While COLAs are intended to maintain purchasing power, modest annual increases increases have not kept up with rising costs for essential goods and services such as groceries, utilities, transportation, and prescription medications. As a result, the real value of a Social Security benefits steadily declines, reducing seniors and disabled Americans' ability to cover basic needs. Adding to this strain, increases in Medicare premiums consume a significant portion of any COLA adjustment. For many seniors, a large share of their annual benefit increase is absorbed by higher healthcare costs, leaving little additional income for other living expenses. This particularly affects low and middle income beneficiaries who rely on Social Security as their primary source of income, limiting their financial flexibility and security. Temporary benefit boosts, such as one-time stimulus payments or short-term monthly supplements, provide only brief relief. These measures do not change the base amount of Social Security benefits, and once they end, recipients return to the same financial strain they faced before. The uncertainty of temporary relief also complicates retirement planning, as seniors cannot rely on these payments for recurring expenses such as rent, utilities, or medical costs. The combination of modest COLAs, rising Medicare premiums, and reliance on temporary payments exposes a critical gap in the Social Security system. Without a permanent, meaningful adjustment to benefits that reflects real-world inflation, seniors and disabled Americans continue to face financial insecurity. Policymakers must address both the erosion of purchasing power and the disproportionate impact of healthcare costs to ensure Social Security fulfills its purpose, providing a stable, reliable income that allows beneficiaries to live with dignity and independence. A meaningful solution to the financial challenges faced by seniors and disabled Americans must go beyond temporary payments or modest cost of living adjustments. Raising base Social Security benefits permanently is essential to ensure recipients receive higher, reliable monthly payments throughout retirement or periods of disability. Permanent increases restore purchasing power eroded by inflation and provide stability for long-term financial planning. Current beneficiaries gain immediate financial relief, while future recipients are assured that their earned benefits remain adequate. The Social Security Expansion Act addresses three critical areas: benefit adequacy, inflation protection, and program solvency. Benefit adequacy ensures seniors have enough income to cover essential living expenses, including housing, healthcare, food, and transportation. Inflation protection guarantees that benefits maintain their value over time, preventing gradual erosion of purchasing power. Long-term solvency strengthens the Social Security system, preserving trust fund stability and safeguarding benefits for decades. A key feature of the Act is the immediate $200 monthly increase in Social Security benefits, which adds up to an extra $2,400 each year. Unlike temporary stimulus payments or short-term financial boosts, this increase is permanent. It becomes a part of the base Social Security payment, meaning recipients will continue to receive the higher amount every single month without interruption. This structure gives seniors and disabled Americans predictability in their finances, allowing them to plan their monthly budgets with confidence. They can cover essential costs like housing, food, healthcare, transportation, and utilities without worrying about sudden gaps in income. The legislation is designed to help all eligible recipients, including retirees, Social Security disability insurance beneficiaries, those receiving supplemental security income, and low-income seniors. By establishing a permanent increase instead of a temporary boost, the Act provides a meaningful and long-lasting solution to the problems created by inflation and the rising cost of living. The Social Security Expansion Act is not just a minor adjustment. It is a strategic reform intended to ensure that all beneficiaries can maintain financial security, dignity, and stability throughout retirement or periods of disability. Temporary Social Security increases, such as one-time payments or short-term supplements, provide only brief relief and do not offer lasting financial stability. In contrast, permanent increases are built into the base benefit and continue indefinitely. This means that over time, each month's payment grows in value, as the permanent increase compounds alongside the original benefit. Over the long term, this system gives retirees and disabled individuals the ability to plan for regular living expenses, emergencies, or unexpected medical costs with far greater confidence. Another essential part of these reforms is the modernization of the cost of living adjustment, or COLA formula. Traditional COLAs have often failed to match the real expenses that seniors face, particularly in areas such as housing, healthcare, prescription medications, and essential groceries. These costs have risen more quickly than the standard COLA calculations, causing the real value of Social Security payments to shrink over time. Updating the formula to track actual living expenses ensures that Social Security benefit increases maintained purchasing power protecting seniors from financial hardship and helping them cover basic needs consistently. In addition to increasing individual benefits, these reforms also strengthen the long-term financial foundation of the Social Security program itself. By improving program solvency and implementing measures to protect the trust fund, the legislation safeguards the system for future generations. Retirees can be confident that Social Security will remain a reliable source of income, both now and in the decades to come. The combination of permanent benefit increases, a modernized COLA formula, and strengthened program solvency creates a comprehensive approach to Social Security reform. It addresses the immediate financial needs of seniors and disabled Americans while also ensuring the long-term sustainability of the program. This approach allows beneficiaries to maintain stability, independence, and dignity in retirement or during periods of disability. By enacting these reforms, policymakers are guaranteeing that Social Security continues to provide dependable support, shielding recipients from inflation, rising costs, and potential future reductions, while ensuring a secure standard of living for older Americans. Low-income retirees are among the most vulnerable populations relying on Social Security. Many of these seniors receive benefits that are not enough to cover even the most basic living expenses. An improved minimum benefit standard directly addresses this challenge by raising the lowest benefits to at least 125% of the federal poverty level. Establishing this baseline creates a sustainable standard that reflects the real costs of living for seniors. It ensures that even the most financially vulnerable beneficiaries can afford essentials such as housing, food, utilities, and healthcare. For many seniors currently receiving the minimum benefit, this change represents a substantial improvement, potentially adding thousands of dollars to their annual income. Beyond immediate relief, the reform provides long-term stability, permanently lifting retirees out of poverty and giving them the financial security needed to manage day-to-day expenses and unexpected costs. This is especially important as healthcare costs and living expenses continue to rise, eroding the value of modest Social Security payments. The improved minimum benefit standard also advances social equity, making sure that the most economically vulnerable seniors receive sufficient support, reduces disparities among retirees, and recognizes the decades of work that older Americans have contributed to the system. Indexing the minimum benefit to inflation ensures that these gains are preserved over time, allowing retirees to maintain their purchasing power as costs increase. This prevents beneficiaries from falling back into poverty due to rising living expenses. Furthermore, these changes strengthen the core purpose of Social Security, which is to provide financial security and independence for older Americans. A strong minimum benefit ensures that low-income retirees are no longer left behind, while also maintaining fairness and sustainability for all beneficiaries. Raising the minimum benefit provides both immediate financial relief and long-term protection, giving low-income seniors the stability, independence, and dignity that they deserve. The proposal to permanently expand Social Security has received broad support from dozens of national senior advocacy organizations. These groups, which focus on protecting the financial well-being of older Americans, understand the urgency and necessity of meaningful reform. Their support reflects the recognition that permanent increases are essential to address the challenges facing retirees and disabled beneficiaries. By advocating for long-term improvements rather than temporary measures, these organizations emphasize the need for solutions that provide sustained financial stability. A permanent expansion embeds the increase into the base Social Security payment, allowing it to grow over time and ensuring that monthly benefits keep pace with the rising cost of essential goods and services such as housing, healthcare, food, and transportation. These costs have historically risen faster than the modest annual cost of living adjustments, making permanent reforms necessary to protect the standard of living for seniors. The Social Security expansion also recognizes and honors the contributions of older Americans. Many seniors have spent decades working and paying into the system through payroll taxes. A permanent increase acknowledges this lifetime of work, allowing beneficiaries to maintain a reasonable standard of living without fear of falling into poverty. The reform also addresses inequities in the system, particularly for low-income retirees and disabled Americans who rely heavily on Social Security as their primary source of income. The strong backing from senior advocacy organizations highlights the urgency of passing this legislation as they understand the financial pressures that rising living costs, healthcare expenses, and inflation create for older Americans. Their advocacy sends a clear message to policymakers that decisive action is necessary to protect seniors' economic security. A permanent expansion of Social Security is a comprehensive solution that combines financial stability, fairness, and respect for the lifetime contributions of older Americans. It ensures ensures that all beneficiaries can enjoy a secure retirement and a predictable standard of living. By permanently increasing benefits, modernizing the cost of living formula, and strengthening program solvency, the reform provides both immediate relief and long-term protection. Seniors and disabled Americans can live with confidence, knowing that Social Security will continue to support them against rising costs and financial uncertainty. This expansion affirms the nation's commitment to protecting the economic well-being of older Americans and ensuring that decades of work and contributions to Social Security result in a secure and dignified standard of living. A key feature of the Act is the immediate $200 monthly increase in benefits, equating to an additional $400 per year. Unlike temporary stimulus payments, this increase is permanent and becomes part of the base Social Security payment, ensuring recipients continue to receive the higher amount every month. This structure provides predictability, allowing beneficiaries to plan their budgets with confidence and cover essential expenses without fear of sudden shortfalls. The legislation benefits all eligible recipients, including retirees, Social Security disability insurance beneficiaries, supplemental security income recipients, and low-income seniors. By implementing a permanent increase rather than a temporary boost, the Act delivers a meaningful, long-term solution to the challenges posed by inflation and rising living costs. The Social Security Expansion Act is a strategic reform designed to ensure that all beneficiaries can maintain dignity, stability, and financial security throughout their retirement or disability years. Securing a permanent Social Security increase is more than policy. It's a promise of dignity, stability, and fairness for millions of seniors and disabled Americans. By supporting reforms that strengthen benefits, protect against inflation, and ensure long-term solvency, we can guarantee financial security for today's retirees and future generations. Stay informed, raise your voice, and join the movement to make Social Security a true lifeline for all who have earned it.